My name is Debbi, and I'm here today to help you on your healing path from narcissistic abuse with education, science, and spirituality. So today I'm going to talk to you about my number 2 myth, which was my belief that during and after my relationship with my narcissistic partner, I believed that he did not have an awareness of what he was doing to me. And I also believed that if he did have the knowledge, he would regret and feel remorseful about what he had done to me in regard to the abuse during our relationship. So what I remember is that he clearly behaved one way in public, but he was completely different behind closed doors with me. At the beginning of our relationship, my narcissistic partner, and even actually during a relationship, when he chose to, he could be very charming, and he was very capable of controlling himself. He knew exactly how to manage his emotions and control himself depending on what he wanted. So there's been many well-documented experts like Robert Hare, Dr. Martha Stout, Lundy Bancroft, who have well-documented research, along with others, that narcissists have a predatory nature, which includes behaviors that are intentional, manipulative, and sadistic, as well as having an ability to control their abusive behavior in public. So this goes hand in hand with the myth that I believe that abusers can't help it, and that is just the way they are. So in fact, my narcissistic partner knew exactly what he was doing. He could easily put on a charming front, his false mask for everyone else, while abusing me when we were alone. His level of self-control could be seen in his performances at work or in fact anywhere when he was out in public. Of course, at the beginning of our relationship, the idealization phase, he was able to control himself very well and make me feel special, and as though he was listening to me and being supportive, and in fact I believed he was my soulmate. He was an expert at controlling his emotions and controlling himself in order to get exactly what he wanted. A master at manipulation, as I didn't even know I was being played. So narcissists can absolutely help it, and are certainly not helpless to their disorder, which is narcissistic personality disorder. They might have a combination with antisocial personality disorder as well, and they selectively choose which victim to devalue and discard, and those victims tend to be the ones they are closest to, which was me. I found that the deeper I got into the relationship, the more disempowered I felt, and I later discovered it was due to me being the main source of his supply and abusing me in the ways that he chose. So just to be clear, he wasn't psychotic, he's never been psychotic, and he was making a deliberate choice to demean, to manipulate, to control, and hurt me, just as he made a choice not to hurt another person. He made a choice to turn his behavior on and off in public, while he chose to change his behavior to cruelty in private with me. He simply decided how he acted when and where because his abusive behavior rewarded him. He had the ability to gaslight and project and blame shift and turn his abusive behavior on and off in public when he felt like it, and when to start a smear campaign against me to escape any responsibility for his actions. He was aware of what he was doing and that he was to blame for his cruel behavior when I would confront him. He just didn't care to stop. It actually seemed like it was a game to him now that I look back on it all. Sort of like a cat with a mouse. He being the cat, I being the mouse. The narcissist can not scheme to blame anyone else for their actions if they feel no guilt for what they're doing, but are aware of how abusive and malicious their behavior would appear to the public. So they're attempting to escape being found out. Also, they're unable to switch their masks so quickly from their true selves to their false selves, and vice versa when there is a witness if they are not consciously controlling it. So the short answer to the original myth that I was discussing are, do narcissists know what they're doing? Yes. They're doing whatever they're doing to get the narcissistic supply. There is no remorse or regret for doing that. It's impossible to understand that narcissists have very little, if any, comprehension of how this affects other people, and they don't care. To them, people are only objects anyhow. Do they ever regret their behavior? Yes. A narcissist can regret his behavior, but only in the context of it being only about them and how it affects them. Everything is always about them and what they can get out of anything for themselves. Do they ever take any responsibility for what they've done? A narcissist will not genuinely apologize for what they've done. They can make fake genuine remorse. They can fake it and make it look like an apology, but this is simply to reinstate their agenda, which sadly has nothing to do with caring or loving another person. Once the cracks appear in your relationship, the narcissist will start looking around for a fresh supply, and once it's found, the old supply will be discarded, tossed away, as though it didn't even exist. That was me. I hope that by sharing this, it will help clear up some things for you, and it certainly did me to figure out this myth for me. I realized that they're wanting my narcissist to be remorseful or regretful or forgiving in ways that have anything to do with me was futile. It's impossible for a narcissist because they simply do not have the inner resources or brain wiring, in fact, to comply. And malignant narcissists know exactly what they're doing, and in fact, they actually like it. So what's important to take away from this today? You do not need the narcissist to apologize for you to heal. By focusing on them and not working on healing your own wounds, you're trapping yourself in your trauma prison indefinitely. You can heal, and I can show you how to do this. First, have a look at some of the healing affirmations and start your healing process. There are also many other articles to read or listen to on my website if you need to increase your education about narcissistic abuse recovery. If you're at a place that you know and understand what narcissistic abuse is, and you have left the situation but find you're still reeling from the effects of it, it may be time to begin healing yourself from within. Send me an email or a text here, Instagram, on here on my website, or on Instagram, or on Facebook, and you'll find the links for those here. So take care. I hope that this has been some help to you on your path to healing, and know that you're not alone, that I have certainly been through what you are going through or have been through, and it takes courage to begin your healing process, and I'm here to help you. Please reach out. Take care.